Morning team, I hope everyone had a really good Christmas and a good day or two off. What are we, 2 days after Christmas Day. Yeah, we actually ended up working yesterday, Boxing Day. We just sort of had to keep the header going. We sort of wasn't intending to, but we harvested everything, all the storage full, and filled the mother bin in another bin, and we were able to get the canola picked up and finished, which was good. Yeah, just get out of the road. So we'll move this morning, and but no, just come down this morning to start the irrigator. So yeah, it's been pretty hot, but yeah, just going to start the irrigator. But what we need to sort of fix before we start is we've got a few wires here that the sheep have decided to have a chew on. I'm sure they have a team meeting every morning and decide how we're going to cause mischief today. So yeah, anyway, we'll patch a couple of these wires up, and just their pressure sensors, just for the one for the ag sense for the remote, so we can shut it off remotely, and the other ones, I think it opens this Nelson valve. Yeah, just part of the watchdog on it all. One thing that we have discovered though, and I'm doing this off my phone because the GoPro's flat, funnily enough. So we put this fence in here, I think if you've been watching on earlier on, just to split this paddock in half. And what we've discovered, and I thought it might have happened, but I walked the irrigator around just to get it back to its starting point the other day, and we've got a bit of a problem, Houston. So we need to put probably need to put another to this tower and the next one. Yeah, irrigators just walked over the fence, as they do apparently. So I'll cut that in a minute and just let that walk back through there, and we'll put another assembly there, so another gap for the irrigator to walk through, and the next tower is probably the same. So anyway, it's going to be a warm day. We're in mid-30s now, which is good harvesting weather. And yeah, they're talking heat wave across eastern Australia, southern Australia. They get a bit carried away. The news, they must be bored. It is summer, and 3 weeks ago they were saying how unseasonably cold it was. Now it's a heat wave, so it's a bit hard to work it out. Anyway, we'll patch these wires up and we'll try and get this irrigator going. Patch the wiring up, and we've cut the fence, and we've picked up a hitchhiker. Pretty shady crowd around here. Starting to get a bad habit of following me up the paddock. So, come on, let me seatbelt on. Anyway, we'll go up and see if we can prime this pump. There's going to be a bit of mucking around and getting it to go, I think. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Rightio, so we're just up here at the main pump. It's a John Deere, 4-cylinder, I think. Then we've got the dam and what they call the river screen out there in the water with the suction on it. So what we have trouble is it seems to lose prime, and given it the pump hasn't been going since earlier in the year. I've brought the fire unit up, huge right there, and I'm just gonna fill that line full of water. It'll save me pumping this thing 1,000 times to get it to go. Yeah, I need something a bit more permanent because I'm not too sure. It seems to lose prime once the motor shuts off or runs out of fuel or something like that. It's a bugger of a thing to prime back up again. So thought this morning we'll bring this back up and fill that up, and it'll make it a bit easier to prime it up then. Fingers crossed. Alright, so we've got water here at the pumper. Oh, the handle's just fallen off. Went to start it, and I've had this battery on charge. The bloody thing hasn't charged, so I had to fly home and get the jumper leads. Sit you guys over there. See where this is going to go. a bit noisy in there, so I'll bring you out. But yeah, the river screen's a funny sort of thing. Flows water. Once we get the motor revs up, the screen turns, essentially just a filter, and it's got those jets that run through it and clean it. Yeah, so we'll let this run up a bit, and yeah, the water starts on here at 10 to 9, so the outlet's all computerised now. It'll open on its own. We just jump on the internet and order the water. So we've got about 5.5 megalitres of water coming. Oh dear. Hang on, we've stopped. What's happened? I didn't have the pressure switch on start. Remember that for next time. So yeah, it was on the run, so it's ran for a bit, and then it hasn't picked, the water pressure hasn't picked up, so it's essentially shut itself down. So anyway, we'll wander back out and let this pump up a bit, and by the time we get back out to the pivot, it's a bit of a pain in the backside because you've got to trek all the way out there. Usually I'd start the pivot walking if the irrigator, if it's been running a few days earlier or something like that, but because it hasn't been going since the start of the year, we'll just let the water prime up through the irrigator, and then we'll start the irrigator walking. Pinched a nozzle off one of the hoses, so we'll have to pinch a nozzle off the jet off the other irrigator. So I've explained this before, pretty simple, but forward direction, your application rate, so we actually want to go in reverse, and then we're going to put 90 mil on, not 90 mil, that'd be what, put 30 mil. Alright, we're running and we should be away. If I'm going in the right direction. We'll get it going, and we can we'll fire it up, and we see whether it's going the right way or not. I can, off my phone, I can change the direction of it, so we'll keep rocking, and we can check that in a minute anyway. All right, we're going. So that's what the sprinkler looks like. So you can see them coming out there, and they're actually sized, so the ones on the inside aren't putting on as much as the ones on the outside. And anyway, you can see, careful, you can see the irrigator's just walking along. So the rate, when I set it there at 30 mil before, how we set that rate is just setting the speed of how quickly the irrigator walks along. So anyway, I'm going to get wet doing this. I probably should have done it before now, but I'll kink the hose, and it's just got a 3/4 BSP thread on it. We'll kink the hose and get him on, and hopefully not get drowned. Worked all right. I was able to you can see my feet. I was able to be a bit sneaky actually, so I just climbed up on the tower, up on top above the water, and was able to screw him on. So it's a bit of a different jet, that one. You can see it's moving a bit slower, but anyway, it's better than squirting out on the ground like it was. So anyway, we'll grab the fuel trailer, and we'll put a bit of fuel in the pump up on the dam, and then we'll get this header organised to head off to town. Well, we're rolling along pretty well here. Got shifted into edge of town. Into some wheat. About 75 hectares here to do in irrigation bays, in flood bays. Hasn't been watered, but yeah, so I'm just actually steering it by hand because the check banks aren't parallel, so it's a bit hard to pull a straight AB line. And this, we've got the 10.5 metre front end here off the windrower, just with the top cross auger, with having to do some direct heading later on, and we've got a couple of metre strip each bay, so there's a bit of mucking around going on. If we had the 12 metre front end here, we'd be pretty much three runs in each bay, and we'd have it done. So anyway, it's a nice warm day. It'll be mid-30s, not a lot of wind. So yeah, talking total fire band tomorrow, which is just put you down there. Total fire band day tomorrow. You're gonna stay there? Stay. Yeah, and that's basically no fires can be lit out in the open air, and we may have a harvest band depending on what the wind does. So we'll just see. We'll get going early, and by lunchtime perhaps we may have to knock off. But no, we're getting a bit done, which is good, mate. Oh, you're falling over. You okay? Might lean you back there against the screen, that's better. Yeah, noticing the bigger capacity in the header. We're rolling along at that 5 kilometres an hour, and just getting good tons an hour out of it. I know with the older header we wouldn't be getting the hectares an hour or tons an hour out of it. So yeah, no, it's these sorts of conditions where it's good thrashing and good harvesting, we're noticing the difference. Just gonna flick the auger out, hang on. Yeah, so no, we're getting a bit done, which is good. Just got Ross in the bin today. He gave us a hand yesterday, and then yeah, Tommy will be back in the morning. It's all happening. We are getting to the pointy end of it though. We're sort of down to a couple of 100 hectares, 250 hectares, something like that. So yeah, no, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is good. Last night. So today's a total fire band. So yeah, it got pretty hot yesterday, high 30s, and I think it's going to be the same today, but it's going to get cut up quite rough and get quite windy. So got going pretty early. We're going by 8 o'clock, and it'll get to the point here where we'll have to pull up. What we follow is what they call the fire danger index. So it's basically relative humidity, temperature, and then the wind speed. This is an old one, but you might be able to see that. We've got the temperature down that side as it gets hotter, relative humidity across the top, and what's the other one? And then wind. So you basically stop, supposed to stop harvesting. It used to be 35, but I think it's 40 now. But what I've got is, if you can see, I've just got an app on my phone, and that's linked to the weather station at our home place. And basically it's just a worm online, and once we get above that line there with the 2 worms, it's when we stop harvesting. But generally we'll I'm involved with our local fire brigade, and our neighbour he's the captain of the fire brigade, so we're generally talking anyway. And if we think it's getting too dangerous, we'll pull up. So we'll probably only get a couple of hours in this morning, and then we'll yeah, hopefully we'll come back this evening if the wind settles down and the temperature cools down a bit. But sort of RF Rural Fire Service have gone away from calling sort of harvest bans as such, unless it's an absolute sort of horrific day or catastrophic day, or whatever the terminology they use now. So they sort of put the onus back on the operator, but some people follow like anything, some people follow the rules, and other people don't. So you get those people who push back that think the weather's not dangerous or whatever, but yeah, general consensus is we all work together, and sort of bit of the rule of thumb, if you don't think you can, if you light a fire and you don't think you can stop it yourself or keep it on your own property, then obviously it's conditions are too dangerous. So, and also our thing here is, because we're contracting, we need to be mindful that it's not our property, so we don't want to burn it out. But yeah, we'll stop well and truly before that. So yeah, so no, we're just we're rocking along here pretty well. Crop's going pretty well, and yeah, we'll just see how long we get. Well, we've actually been rained off, believe it or not. Total fire ban, and we've had a shower of rain. So a couple of mil, but yeah, enough to, well, there may not even been a couple of mil, but it's enough to have stopped us. So yeah, I'm back at home and just gonna cart this, I don't know, 6 or 8, 10 or a dozen brown bales of hay left to cart in. I've just got the irrigator going, so or still going, so just going to shift them just in case the irrigator one's in the path of the irrigator. So anyway, we'll get the rest of the arvo off and catch up on a few jobs in the morning, and hopefully the header will go again tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, we'll wind this one up. Thanks for watching. Keep subscribing. We're nudging the 1,000 subscribers, which is good. So thanks to you guys that are asking questions and commenting and that. I'll get around the light so you can see me. Yeah, and I'll I'm still trying to get back to you when I can. So if I'm a bit slow with the replies, apologies. But yeah, no, thanks again, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da.